welcome to the 80s, the podcast that uses your votes to determine the most totally legendary 80s thing since Dave Vance's keyboard tie in high school. In Cleveland, Ohio, I'm Keith Barsteller, and joining me from Seattle, Washington, it's the creator of the 80s, my longtime friend and co-host, and he's not really known for his trendy neckwear like my man Dave Vance was, but ladies and gentlemen, Joe Walk! Hey, Joe!
Hey, Keith. So, listen, for reasons that will become clear later on,
okay.
I wanted to talk to you about TV show finales.
All right.
Yeah.
The final episode of a TV series.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Series finale.
Series
Not
finale.
A season finale, but a series. They're like the last one they're going to make ever. In your mind, what do you think is the best TV finale of all time?
Well, you know, the ones that come immediately to mind are like MASH, if we're talking about the era. Are we talking about 80s or all time? But
I'm talking about all time.
You know, the Newhart series finale, the end of that with a big twist.
Absolutely.
Is a classic. Those two come straight to mind anyway. You know, there's in later years there would be big ones like I don't know, The Sopranos had a big kind of controversial finale anyway.
It did.
Of course, I love Community myself, and the Community finale was good. Even though season 6 was uneven, but hemorrhaging characters and all that. What are you going to do? What about you? What do you got? Some favorites?
I mean, you know, like you, MASH and Newhart were great. Mary Tyler Moore, classic.
Oh yeah.
Classic finale. St. Elsewhere, where it turns out the whole thing was a dream or it was an imagination of the kid. Later years, I think I'm a huge fan of the Good Place series finale.
Oh sure, yeah.
That one a lot. 6 Feet Under had an amazing
6 Feet Under
series finale where they
might be the
wrapped
best
everything up.
Ending of a finale ever with the Sia song and the montage of everybody's lives.
Yep.
Yeah, really
they left
impressive.
No questions unanswered there.
Yeah.
And then what do you think of give me like one of your worst series finales?
Wow. I mean, that's a tougher one for me. I'm trying to think, because like where I really thought they screwed up the show. I mean, I guess I didn't love the end of Game of Thrones. If you were a Game of Thrones guy.
Oh yeah, I agree.
You know, a lot of people not super fond of that. TV show series finales are a lot like breakups. You know, you're kind of breaking up with the viewers, and there's no good way to. You know, there's not a lot of great ways to do it that people all leave feeling happy about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I'm struggling to think of one where I thought, oh man, you know what? If the new generation of Battlestar Galactica in like the late '90s, maybe that was early 2000s. I didn't love how that ended, I guess.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, what do you got on your worst list?
I mean, I think Lost is probably up there. Just, you know, there was no way they were going to bring that in for a landing, and they did not. It crashed like the plane and the pilot.
Yes.
I did not love the ending of Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah, which is interesting. I don't know if you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I watched on and off. I did not watch the last season.
They just did basically a redo. They did the exact same scenario and then redid it and then fixed the ending to be how they feel like they should have fixed the Seinfeld finale ending. Because I was okay with the whole thing until they like left him in prison. And in I don't want to spoil the Curb finale, but they changed something in the Curb finale, even though it's almost exactly the same thing. It's like a parade of people coming in to testify against Larry David being a terrible person.
Right.
And then he's convicted, and then, anyway.
All right, so the reason I bring it up is because of that Sopranos finale.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll talk about why, but with a little bit. But what did you think of it?
Well, I've not seen the entire series of The Sopranos, but I am familiar with what happens at the end of the show, and it.
Yeah.
You mean in terms of the leaving it up to the viewer to decide what happened to them, right? Like it's up for interpretation instead of a show like, great series finales like that other people were pissed off about, like Breaking Bad and Dexter come to mind, right? Like most people liked them, other people, but you're told definitively, here's what happens to these people.
Yeah.
And that one, the screen goes black, right? At a pivotal moment where they might be about to be shot or they might
maybe not
be fine. What do you think? Were you a full viewer of the full series of that?
I was not like a dedicated viewer. I checked in periodically. But I did watch like a lot of the last season, and I watched the finale. And I thought, I liked it.
Okay.
I thought it got a lot of crap that it didn't deserve.
Okay, yeah. I didn't have a lot invested in it to know how to feel about being left up in the air.
Yeah.
But I guess this might come into play later in the show.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. Well, everybody, welcome back to the 80s-ist.
Welcome back.
Joe, do you remember Dave Vance and his keyboard tie? You were laughing hysterically during the intro. I think that means you do remember.
I do remember, and I gotta say, man, I had such a crappy attitude toward Dave Vance, and I feel bad about it. He probably wasn't even aware of the fact that I made fun of him all the time to you. I really doubt that he was aware, but
it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt him. We weren't.
I guess, but man, I don't know. It just feels like a low point. Like I was not empathetic to him at all, and I feel bad about it.
I feel that same way, yeah. But at least we weren't terrible to him,
No,
it was more between us.
I think so. It was like a running joke between us.
That's all. That's all it was. We didn't set out to ruin his life or anything. But he did have that keyboard tie, though.
He did have the keyboard tie. But when we wrote a song about him.
Did we?
Yes, it was on Bongos in Black and White, I believe.
Wait, is that Rat Patrol? Did we write Rat Patrol?
No, it was Cool Beans.
Oh, yeah, Cool Beans, one of his favorite sayings. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it was about
I almost forgot about that one. I could still sing Rat Patrol. I don't think I could sing Cool Beans out of thin air.
I think I remember the chorus was like Cool Beans. Cool Beans or something like that. Yeah.
That's right.
Anyway.
Joe and I have an album, or 2 albums.
That's right, because we had Mr. Pit Toilet Goes to Washington.
Yeah, we fancied ourselves like the next Weird Al's Yankovic.
That's right.
Yeah.
We did.
But anyway.
We were not.
Jesus Christ, this episode is off the rails. But here we go.
Oh, Lord. All right.
Keyboard ties were incredibly 80s. But anyway.
Yeah.
Today, and apologies to Dave Vance if you're a listener, bro. We got nothing. We got no stored up conflict with you, man.
No.
Things are fine. We
wish
apologize.
Nothing but well.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, he didn't. I'm sure he was unaware of us entirely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He had other stuff going on.
For sure. He was. Anyway, I'll lay off of him now, but. Welcome back to the 80s. Today in the 9th show of season 3, we're going to have an absolute knockdown, drag-out brawl as 2 incredibly popular acts, at least with you and me, with very different styles, are going to meet in the ring. And it is time to check out a very eclectic tale of the tape.
Fight! 2 songs enter. 1 song leaves.
It's the tale of the tape. He's out!
All right, well, here it is, folks.
Yes.
We start off with number 4 seed. It's Don't Stop Believin'.
Yeah.
By Journey. It's from their album Escape. It was released on October 19th, 1981. It peaked at only number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100.
That's insane.
It has been certified 18 times platinum.
Wow.
The song has sold over 1 million copies in vinyl and has been the number 1 paid digital download that was originally released in the 20th century. Number 1.
Yeah.
The Recording Industry Association of America, or RIA, officially named Journey's Don't Stop Believin' the biggest song of all time. What started off as the biggest selling digital album of the 80s per Billboard is now certified 18 platform in the United States alone, standing out as the most sold hit in music history over 40 years after its initial release.
That's crazy.
Rolling Stone magazine ranked it 133 on their 500 greatest songs of all time list. It was also included in the National Recording Registry by the Library of Congress in 2022, and this song entered the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2021.
Which is really weird because the song never won a Grammy, but it's in the Grammy Hall of Fame. Figure that one out.
I mean, it's a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah, that's what it is. That is so. Yeah, it's crazy. It sold so many vinyl, and then went nuts in the digital world too.
Yeah.
For reasons we'll talk about during its discussion. But now on the other side of the ring, 13 seed, Here Comes the Rain Again by Eurythmics is from their album Touch. And I had that on cassette. Did you have that one, Joe? I don't know.
I did not have that one.
And I also had Escape, for that matter. I believe gifted to me by Dan Knapp, who we talk about all the time.
I'm sure he did.
Anyway, it was...
It's a very Dan gift.
Here Comes the Rain Again was released January 12th of 1984. The greatest year in music. It was a number 4 hit, a bigger hit on the Billboard Hot 100. And well, that's it, Joe. It was a popular song, to me at least, one of my favorites. But it just didn't seem to set any records or really win any big awards to speak of. But yet, we all know this song. So, I don't know. Is it legendary? We'll hash that out. But we're going to do that by playing a little bit of each of these songs. Now, Don't Stop Believin', Joe, has a really weird song structure. So I got to give you almost 2 minutes of it.
Okay.
And we'll talk about it during the thing, but here's a minute 52 of Journey.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. A singer in a smoky room, a smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile they can share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard. Their shadows searching in the night. Streetlights, people living just to find emotion, hiding somewhere in the night.
All right. Well, there you go. That's some Don't Stop Believin'. And now back to back.
Yeah, it is.
Here Comes the Rain Again. So there's Here Comes the Rain Again. There's a section of that. Man, I'll tell you, when that opening hits. Whew,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. All right, well, before we get to talking about these, though, let's find out which one of us might be responsible for bringing this stuff into the tournament. I think my dead grandmother would have picked more 80s songs than you, Joe.
I gotta be honest, Keith, I'd rather listen to a wet fart.
That could be arranged.
So, number 4, Don't Stop Believin' from Journey, holds our 16th ranking out of 64 legends. I ranked Journey at number 7. Keith, you ranked him at 38.
Yep.
Joint responsibility, but I'm more responsible for their strong seeding.
Yeah, because you went top 10 with them, which
I did.
I completely understand. Again, for the listeners who are jumping in, Joe and I took some, different methods to choosing our numbering. I went entirely with top 40 hit numbers, and Joe kind of went.
I went with vibes.
Which is also legit. It really is. But I was so overwhelmed that I just had to organize, I guess. Well, I had Joe. I had Journey down as having 8 top 40 hits within the decade. And some of them you might remember.
Any way you want it, it's the way you need it. Any way you want it.
Any way you want it, right?
Yeah.
And Open Arms was a big one back in the day.
Of course.
Don't Stop Believin', which we're listening to tonight, Faithfully, which Dan Knapp says is the best ballad ever written by a human being.
Okay, cool down.
Possibly my favorite Journey song, maybe Separate Ways. Real 80s, real rocker. And then they hit their Raised on Radio album with stuff like Girl Can't Help It. Do you remember this album? Does this sound familiar?
I do.
Yeah. And then Be Good to Yourself. And finally, their last top 40 hit of the decade was I'll Be Alright Without You. So, I don't know if these was kind of later on in the 80s. But yeah, those are their 8 top 40 hits. And we gave them 4 to choose from, Joe. Do you remember which 4 we gave them?
We gave them Open Arms, Don't Stop Believin', Faithfully, and Separate Ways.
That's right. Okay, so they had the big guns. Those 2 mega ballads were in their grasp, but they chose Don't Stop Believin'. So
They did.
All right, now tell us about how the Eurythmics got here.
So the Eurythmics holds our 49th ranking out of 64 legends. I ranked them 49. Keith, you ranked them 51, so pretty close there. And we're both jointly responsible.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the closest ranking, coincidences we had.
Yeah.
I would say. And Eurythmics are responsible for 6 top 40 hits, one of which was held back because we already had it in one of the previous seasons, and that is the iconic Sweet Dreams, which should be the song that is going up tonight. But, they also have Here Comes the Rain Again as the second hit. Would I Lie to You? And There Must Be an Angel, Playing with My Heart, which I gotta be honest, Joe, I didn't know this song.
Me either.
It's with Luciano Pavarotti.
Oh, okay.
And so I listened to it today. It's not bad. But yeah, they also had Missionary Man, which is more of a song that I would, if I jump ahead, more of a song.
Original sinner, I was born from original sin.
And then they had Don't Ask Me Why. Not the Billy Joel Don't Ask Me Why.
Oh, I would love to hear that.
I'm sure you would. And then this is not a top 40 hit, but it was listed because of our negotiations. Who's That Girl was one of the songs that we gave them to vote on. What were the four? Who's That Girl and which others?
And Here Comes the Rain Again, What I Lied to You, and Missionary Man.
And so there you go. Those are the legends. Those are their top 40 credentials. Those are the rankings we gave them. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I don't know. We'll find out in the comments, I guess. Some folks were given a little flack for Eurythmics being legends. You know, I guess it comes down to personal opinion, but 6 top 40 hits did get them to number 51 for me. If I was going relatively scientifically on this. So
Right.
All right. Well, Joe, do you like these songs? Let's find out.
Keith, I love this song.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Just for new listeners, Joe's enthusiasm was about Europe's The Final Countdown in that bumper.
It's true.
All right, Joe. Do you like Don't Stop Believin' by Journey? Where do you come down on that?
Well, you know, the clip you just played of me for Final Countdown, you could just do the same thing for Don't Stop Believin'. I love this song. I really do. We'll talk about why in a minute. But what about you?
I do too, man. It's inextricably linked to that decade for me. While not my favorite Journey song, I like a lot of Journey songs. It's just when I grew up, and this one is in that set of liked and loved songs. So yeah, I'm on board with Don't Stop.
What about Here Comes the Rain Again? How do you feel about that?
Fucking spectacular song for me, Joe. It's in my top tier of 80s stuff, and it kind of reigns in that kind of cooler stuff that was different. You know, Journey is kind of like, rock band, and I had a lot of rock bands that I was into, and Eurythmics were one of those bands that kind of got me thinking about listening to different sounding stuff. Yeah. So I love this song. What about you? Where do you come down on that?
I love this song. This is a song that has been in my head since it came out, and I sing periodically this song around the house. It's one that's just in my mental jukebox pretty much all the time. I love this song.
Awesome. All right. Well, we've got 2 very well-loved by us, anyway, big songs. And now let's talk about them.
All right, fight on it.
Joe, we're going to get it started with our favorite 4-seed, Don't Stop Believin'.
Okay.
And I'm going to put it in your court for the first, whatever you have to say here.
All right. So I got a toy for us.
Oh, I love when you start with a toy.
So keyboardist Jonathan Cain is the guy that came up with the title of this. And he did so because he was a struggling musician in L.A. Before he hooked up with Journey and their rocket ship took off. But he would get frustrated. He would call his dad, and his dad would say, "Hey Johnny." I'm imagining the "Hey Johnny"
right,
part.
like smoke up, Johnny.
Yeah, Jonathan. Right. His dad would tell him, "Hey, listen, kid, don't stop believing. Because if you do, you're fucked." And if you do, you're fucked was not radio friendly.
Right.
So just cut it to Don't Stop Believin'.
Don't Stop Believin' It. It was a legitimate, earnest thing from his dad. Like, hey, kid, you got the goods. Don't stop believing.
Right. Which this is one of those rare things where the title of the song is not in the chorus. It doesn't come until the very end.
Right, like the chorus. That's the weird thing about the structure of this song is something I was going to talk about. Yeah. And as a needle drop, I guess, basically, is the chorus. There's one chorus in this song, and it is at 3:20 into the song, so we did not even get to it.
Not even close.
And so I'm going to jump ahead to 3:20 to give you a taste of the chorus. Everybody knows it, though. It's one of the most popular songs in the world.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street lights
Oh, Steve could belt out that shit.
Yeah.
And so they do repeat it till the end of the song, but you don't get that first chorus till 3:20 into a 4-minute song.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that scarcity principle that I mentioned way back in season 1 with Take On Me by A-ha, right? They give you 2.5 choruses, and you're like starving for that chorus, and when it comes, you like relish the shit out of it. Unlike Rockwell, who gave you 17 fucking hooks, right?
Yeah.
It's too many hooks, Joe. Diminishing
Too many
returns.
hooks. What am I? A 5-headed guy with a hat problem?
Too many hooks.
That did not
too
make
many
sense at all,
hooks. All right. Anyways.
Classic.
Oh shit. Anyway, can you believe I've got a toy for you, dude? This will blow your mind, I think. All that shit, late 70s, 80s, Journey, catalog that would blow you away. You can name 30 Journey songs. They got 8 top 40s, 0 number 1 songs. Never had a number 1 song, Joe. Open Arms was their highest charting song with a number 2. And as we said in the tail of the tape, this song only hit number 9.
Das ist Meshuggah.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Anyway.
That's just nuts. I mean, given how huge of a presence they were in the 80s and the ubiquity with which we heard them at school dances, for example.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, Faithfully in Open Arms. Forget about it.
God damn.
Because, I'm spinning the records with Steve, and Dan would request one or the other of them to try to ask the girl that he held a torch for 4 years to dance. And inevitably, that slow motion train wreck would end up the same way every time. Anyway.
Oh, Dan.
I love him. All right, so.
Yeah, me too. Because you know why? Because he's a fucking prince.
Yeah, the guy he kept going for it, though, man. You got to admire that. You got to admire his tenacity, I guess.
He embodied the spirit of Journey. If you think about it, because all those songs we listened to at the beginning, right? 90% of them are, hey, it's okay if you're rejecting me. I'm still here for you. It's fine.
I'm forever yours, faithfully. Yeah.
Yeah, Open Arms. Come on, where am I? Separate Ways. Be Good to Yourself. Any Way You Want It.
Sure. I'll Be All Right Without You.
I'll Be All Right Without You. Yeah, all of these songs. The recurring theme is, I'm Steve Perry and I'm a doormat.
That's
not that Dan was a doormat.
Well,
but,
maybe to that one person.
If the shoe print fits.
Yeah.
Oh
my God, dude.
Anyway, Dan, we love you dearly.
We do. Absolutely. I mean, I see him relatively frequently. We live, 10 miles apart these days. So,
right.
I still see him. Anyway, he's the guy I turn to for all my Journey knowledge. He and I have the same favorite Journey song, which is a rocker called Stone in Love that I won't play and derail the show, but it's a great song.
I know the song.
Yeah. All right, Joe, what else you got about Don't Stop Believin'?
Well, I've got this. There's no South Detroit.
Yeah. Isn't it like a lake?
So basically they because there's like an eastern section of it, there's like a northern section. There's no South Detroit, but nothing else they tried there worked. East Detroit didn't sound right. West Detroit didn't sound right. So they went with South Detroit, even though
they knew it was geographically inaccurate.
Yeah.
Now, see, we just finished skewering Toto in our last episode for being geographically inaccurate about Africa. But we find it endearing about Journey.
Maybe. I guess I don't think the band just saw a documentary about Detroit and started writing a song.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about in the tail of the tape, this song had, very good numbers in vinyl. But then things started happening in the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
That made it return to prominence. And one of those things, do you want to talk about those? There are two things that happened.
Well, I'll talk about one of them.
Yeah.
One of them is the reason for the introduction that I wrote, and that is that in that episode of The Sopranos, when it's this long sequence that then fades to black or cuts to black, quickly, and it's all set to "Don't Stop Believin'." Like there's this long sequence where where Tony and his family are meeting in a restaurant. We watch them come in one by one. "Don't Stop Believin'" is playing.
Yeah.
And then
they're having a nice meal together, whatever. Yeah.
And people read lots of meaning, like, what does this song have to do with what we're seeing?
Yeah.
Does the song imply something? Did they stop believing? What happened?
It was a conscious choice to put that song there. What does it mean? Yeah.
Right. David Chase doesn't do anything by accident, man.
Did you have a interpretation of what you thought it meant, having it in there?
I thought it meant that David Chase liked the song.
He liked Journey, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
The other thing that happened, cultural kind of touchstone that happened, was that this new phenomenon of a television show, Glee, came into play.
Jesus.
And Glee, in like one of the big episodes, I don't know, let's just assume that it was regionals, because, everything's trying to get to regionals.
Yeah, sure.
So let's say in regionals, they covered "Don't Stop Believin'" with, the stars of the cast of Glee. And
yeah, Darren Criss.
Sure. And
whoever else.
The young Barbara Streisand looking girl, woman.
Oh, Leah Michele.
Leah
Michele.
Michele.
God, I know two people.
There you go. I know one is another kid named like Corey
Feldman?
Monteith? He
That sounds
passed
right.
away, but anyway, so in 2007 you had the Sopranos finale, and in early 2009 you had the Glee cover, and these two things spurred just insane amounts of digital purchasing of Gen Xers, probably like us, thinking, oh, hey, I remember that song, and I don't have it digitally. I only have it on vinyl.
And my record player is broken.
Right. Or all my cassette players are broken, or all my cassette tapes have demagnetized, whatever.
And I didn't bother buying this on CD.
Right. And anyway, it was a massive, massive call to arms for folks to buy this song in the 2000s. And it's the most digitally downloaded song that was originally recorded in the 20th century, is the
crazy, man,
strange but real distinction that this song has,
Wow.
So there are probably bigger songs in the 21st century that have been downloaded more, like The Weeknd's Blinding Lights or whatever, but that song, for whatever reason, is a giant. So, Joe, did you watch the video for "Don't Stop Believin'"?
I did watch the video. So, all right, this is one of those where I can never be sure if this was the actual video that was on MTV back in the day. Because it says, like, official video RCF.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but that's the one I watched. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good. It's
not really even a video. It's just cutting together concert footage, right?
It's just a ton of different concerts that, and it has in no way the sound has been synced up with the video, except for like one or two sections.
Yeah.
But this is there was this mystery here, because in the video,
okay,
at 0 minutes 37 seconds,
yeah,
there's this dude with a giant fro. I don't see him anyplace else in the shots. I looked at.
Is he in the band?
Because he's playing an instrument. I can't tell if it's a bass or guitar. But he's not in any place else. So I tried Googling for this, and that led me to the fact that Randy Jackson played with them, and I did not know that.
Yes,
Randy Jackson played bass with them.
He did, yeah.
Although he was not the fro guy.
No.
But then Randy Jackson pops up in this video because he was in the band from I think 85 to 87. So some of the concerts where this stuff, where the video was shot, he must have been. Maybe this had to have been released later. If Randy Jackson's in the video, and he is in a little bit here and there.
Huh, okay. Yeah.
Which leads me to believe this is not the official video.
I don't know, dude. I lost interest in it. I mean, I like the song, but like, I didn't need to. I was like, okay, there's no story going on, and like,
it's boring as whale shit.
The audio is not synced up. It's a studio version, and they try to sync it up to concert thing, and it's like, why? It wasn't really worth it.
But for me, the only thing I cared about in this video is who's the dude with the fro.
I'm gonna guess it's bassist Ross Valerie. That's my guess, without looking it up.
I thought so, but then I looked at pictures of him, and it does not look like him to me.
Yeah, and I wasn't paying close enough attention, I guess.
Well, folks, if you because the video is going to be embedded in here in this in the Substack page, go to 37 seconds. Someone help me out. Who the fuck is this guy with the huge fro and the cheesy mustache?
I mean, the lead guitarist Neil Sean. I don't know if he ever rocked an afro type look.
I don't know.
He has kind of curly hair. It's possible.
Yeah. And there's other shots of him that I
so you don't think it's him?
I don't think that's him. I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
Hey, that's that's awesome. Well, I'll give it a look, but listeners, please give us some help identifying this person. We'll put him on a milk carton or something. I don't know. All right, Joe, what else? Do you have anything else about Don't Stop Believin'?
I have one more thing, and that's that, and I did not know this until I did this research this week. The song, so Don't Stop Believin' is played during the 8th inning of every San Francisco Giants home game.
Oh, wow. I
Steve
didn't know
Perry
that.
is a Giant season ticket holder.
Yeah, band's from the Bay Area.
Yeah, and he led the crowd in the song during a game in the World Series in 2014.
Wow, okay.
Which would be, I mean, that'd be a pretty cool
That would be a pretty cool thing to be
your
there.
Song.
Yeah. Okay, well, there you go. So that is the juggernaut known as Don't Stop Believin', but it's not just a foregone conclusion here. We have...
It's not.
Here Comes the Rain Again. And, Joe, man, it's been a minute since we heard any of this, but that beginning, just absolutely, like, when that thing comes on, just... And I mean, what we're hearing is a mix of Dave's synth, but also real strings being played with like that kind of pizzicato, like pluck.
It's the fucking British Philharmonic, man. That's
now
awesome.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, those are real
they
strings.
couldn't fit them all in one studio, so they had different parts of Philharmonic recording at different places. But that is the British Philharmonic doing the strings in this song, which is pretty cool.
Oh, now that's interesting. Because here's what I knew, and it's kind of a little trick, that they went to record this song, and the recording took place in an old church that was getting turned into a recording studio, but it was still being constructed. And they had a 30-piece string orchestra, which I did not realize was part of the Philharmonic. But anyway, this orchestra, they didn't have enough room to all play in the same spot. And so they were kind of improvising. Some of them were playing in hallways, and a few violinists played from a bathroom.
Wow.
Which is like, what the fuck, dude? How did it come out sounding so good? I don't know, but
Dave Stewart's a master, apparently.
I was never sure until this week that those were real strings. Like, they sounded real.
Right.
But, with them, you think synth,
Yeah.
But, yeah, they sound incredible, I feel like. What else do you have for Here Comes the Rain Again here?
So apparently, Dave Stewart and Annie Lennox wrote this song while they were staying at the Mayflower Hotel in New York City. According to Stewart, it was an overcast day, and he was playing melancholy A minor-ish chords with the B note in it on his Casio keyboard. Lennox came over, looked out the window at the gray skies and the New York skyline, and spontaneously sang "Here Comes the Rain Again."
Whoa!
So
just
it's
like that
it's
phrase,
like they were living a biopic.
And that just kicked it off. Like, she just walked up and was like, Here comes the rain again. And like,
Yep.
he's like,
And that was it.
Hang on. Let me hit these awesome synth
I
notes.
think you've got something there. Let's
Blimey.
explore that.
Yes.
I have no idea if that's what Dave Stewart sounds like.
I don't. But man, he makes some music that I really vibe with. And I do have like a little needle drop for a syntherlude, if you will, at
Oh, yes, I will.
about 2:30 something. Let's just put it here and see. It's short but effective. But yeah,
That's good stuff.
yeah, I love the sound of this song. He just really nails vibes for me, you know.
Yeah.
And her voice, you know, come on, so strong.
She's peerless. She really is.
Yeah. Did you take a gander at this video?
I did. It's terribly moody. We start off with cliffs, and then there's the ocean, and then more rocks, and then there's Dave and Annie. Annie has a shawl thrown over her head.
Yeah.
They are on the beach. Dave is filming her. With a video camera.
And then at some points she's inside and he's filming her
Inside.
through windows. Like
That's right.
very stalkerish.
Also, she's at a dresser, not a dresser, a vanity with 3 mirrors and a bunch of candles, and Dave is behind her filming. Then she's in the kitchen. He's outside. Dave's filming. Then she's in a wrecked boat on a shore. Dave is filming from a dinghy. Then they're outside of the stoniest house ever. She's walking with a lantern, and Dave's still filming. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. It's Annie being places that are moody and or made of shale. For some reason,
it's at least not a performance video. I'll give him that.
Right.
And there's one thing to note for me anyway, because you know I'm a production guy, and it has this really of the period terrible chroma key, what we call green screen. At the time, it was actually blue screening, but we've changed over the years to green. And it, for some reason, like half the picture is real, and then they chroma in the sky or something, you know, for whatever reason. Maybe the sky,
it's very jarring.
The sky wasn't like foreboding enough in the real shoot or something. I don't know, but it looks really shitty. Like it's really obvious, and they use it throughout. They use it a couple times to put Dave on the screen when he's not really there, which I was like, I'm not sure why don't they just put him? Anyway, it's just one of those things that makes it really feel of that time, because it's using what at the time probably looked spectacular to us. I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, we also probably had shitty TVs that were not HD and
so that kind of a
great resolution,
kind of a notch in its belt for some 80s cred for using that tech. But not sure what the message is with the stalking and the video cameraing, and I don't know.
I have to assume that the idea was that he was shooting her for an audition video for a soap opera.
There you go. Because that's how she was acting in the
very, very dramatic, like kind of a goth kind of soap opera, you know, like more of a Dark Shadows kind of thing.
Interestingly, while the sky was made to look dim and dark and foreboding, there was no actual rain in the video.
That's true, but again, it's
here comes
the rain again.
It's not here yet.
Here is the rain.
Here is, good fair.
Yeah. Oh, now it's raining.
So the synth in this is exceedingly 80s sounding. Like that's something to put in the column of this song. Like, it's fucking great, and it definitely screams 80s to me. You know, what else would you say would make this song? Did you have an experiential tie to this song?
Well, again, you know, this song was in the top 40. It was on the radio a lot, and
a bigger hit than "Don't Stop Believin" initially.
Yeah. And so I heard this a lot at the time. And it was recorded it was an album after Sweet Dreams, but released the same year.
Right.
And so it kind of just built on the momentum they had off that first single.
For sure.
And so it was pretty ubiquitous back then.
Absolutely. Well, the question is coming soon, unless you have more things to say.
I do not.
Well, then, in that case, Joe, Don't Stop Believin', our favorite, is a 4 seed, which is even, which means today, Joe, you will present your argument first. And I'm not sure what you're going to say here. So,
all right,
take it away.
Well, here's where I'm going with this. I think in the last episode I kind of made a decision to myself, which was I am less about overall 80s-ness of an individual song and more about the legendariness of an individual song. And I think for me the sound of Here Comes the Rain Again is absolutely 80s-er.
Yeah,
unquestionably. Don't Stop Believing.
Yeah.
But I feel like Don't Stop Believin' for me is more legendary. So I'm going to vote for that. I will say that if we hadn't used Sweet Dreams Are Made of This in side A, and if that was representing Eurythmics here, there's a really good chance I'd go the other way. But
it's that close. Yeah,
it's that close.
Yeah, because
I'm going with Don't Stop Believin'.
Here Comes the Rain Again is, again, like a close second for me, too, in terms of favoriteness, I guess, of songs.
Yeah, it's a great song.
It's a great fucking song, but, oh, man. Sweet dreams, you can't resist. Oh, wait, wrong Sweet Dreams.
That's the wrong Sweet Dreams.
Anyway. Dude, I don't love agreeing with you every show, but I'm going Journey as well. I just feel like I've got to. I think they are, and this song is more legendary. I think it just is. Like Here Comes the Rain Again more? Possibly.
I think I do too. Although I love Don't Stop Believin'.
It's hard to choose.
I love both of these songs.
But I do feel like Don't Stop Believin', if you said, hey, what's the biggest song of the decade? What's the most legendary song of the decade? Not a lot of people are going to say Here Comes the Rain Again. And several people are going to say Don't Stop Believin'. I'm going to be one of them. I'm going with you, Journey, 2-0 early lead.
All right. But I think probably we're going to have listeners who have that same contradiction or or at least one person who's going to say that Journey's total crap. Probably.
Probably.
And throw a vote for Here Comes the Rain Again. But let's see what happens when this goes up on our Substack. That's where you can vote by going to our Substack. It's the 80zest.substack.com. Go there, vote. Let us know your thinking. Let us know why you voted the way you do. And we want to hear that. You can also find us on Blue Sky by searching for the 80zest podcast, because we are there as well.
Yep. You'll also find us on Spotify with all our region playlists. Yeah. Search for the 80s-est. Search for that pretty much anywhere, and you will find the podcast. Apple, Google, Spotify. And share us with a friend by clicking on Share the 80s button on your subscription emails. We'd love to have more folks in on the party, and we find that a lot of like high school and college friends like to sit around and debate this shit and get angry at each other about like, oh, what? You think that's more 80s than this, you dumbass? Like, so if you'd like to have that conversation with a good friend of yours, share the 80s with them. So
that's right. We start controversy.
That's what we do. Yes. Well, that's all the time we've got for today, but please join us next time on the 80s-est when we will somehow compare two mammoth acts of the decade, 6 seed Out of Touch by Hall & Oates against 11 seed The Go-Go's with Our Lips Are Sealed. Whew. Good luck on that one. Until then, on behalf of Joe Walk, this is Keith Marsteller saying...
Actually, sorry, Keith.
Yeah.
Before we go, I have a little lesson, history lesson for you.
Yeah.
Apropos of nothing.
Oh, okay. History. Wow. Well, what are we talking about, man?
Well, have you ever heard the old saw that Germans love David Hasselhoff?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, my comedic idol, Norm Macdonald, used to say that every week on Saturday Night Live. He'd work it in. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So you are familiar with that.
Yeah.
Do you know why Germans love him?
Well, I mean, his surname is German, so I just, Hasselhoff. I just assumed it was that.
Oh, Keith, you're so naive. Let me magically transport you to the past. The year is 1989, December 31st, 1989 to be exact. The very last moments that this podcast will ever discuss. The Berlin Wall was coming down. Berliners were experiencing freedom for the first time in generations. The world was experiencing elation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember this. But how does the Hoff factor in exactly?
As the year was about to change, Keith,
Yeah.
Germans needed someone, an English-speaking outsider to come in and unite them. So Hasselhoff jumped on a fucking crane and was raised up high above the city so he could sing to people on both sides of the wall in a language absolutely none of them could speak about unity and freedom.
Wow. What a huge moment. I didn't know this happened. What song did he sing? I mean, if it was me, a classic tune like Imagine or maybe Peace in Our Time or something like that?
No, of course not. He wrote his own Anthem for Freedom.
Oh, wow.
The Hoff liberated Germany that night with one song that he wrote. And he sang it to people who understood it as well as we understand 99 Luftballons. But freedom sounds the same in every language, god damn it.
Wow, so that's why they love him. I never knew.
No, they hated him for this song. You're right before. It's just because of his German heritage and because of Baywatch. Germans love boobs, Keith.
Oh.
They love boobs.
Fair enough. There should be a documentary about how this happened. I would love to know how this happened. Shout out to Marcia and Jenny, who I had dinner with tonight, who I don't know which one of them remembered that this happened or discovered that this happened. But this was going to be a very different closing until they found Looking for Freedom, the David Hasselhoff Freedom Anthem. What are your thoughts? This is the first time I ever heard it. Was tonight. Yeah. This is the second time I've heard it now. What about you?
I'd never heard this, and my single thought was, the fuck?
This is literally the last song sung in the 80s. Moments before New Year's 1990 happened, this song was sung atop of at the Brandenburg Gate.
Well, if you want to slam the door behind you, I guess this is a good way to shut the decade the fuck up.
I mean, just imagine, like, we're having, strife in our country. I know it's hard to imagine what it would be like to live in a country that's having problems.
No, it's all sunshine and roses.
But
and
imagine
applesauce.
that was happening, and someone just kind of showed up and got on a fucking crane and started singing in a foreign language to all of us to unite us. And, 3% of us speak the foreign language.
I mean, if this person had all the glamour and appeal of David Hasselhoff, maybe.
Well, that's a good point. He's a goddamn handsome guy if you like certain things, I guess. And
I mean, if you have Knight Rider fans,
if you love chest hair,
crowd.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway, that's it, guys. That really happened. That really happened.
Do we owe Germany reparations for that or anything?
Exactly, dude. It's like a crime.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, sorry to do that to you, Joe, but have a great night, pal.
Yeah, you two are gonna have nightmares now.
Exactly. I've been looking for freedom. No.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
All right, I'll catch you later, man.
Good night.